Today I want to get into JHope saying that he was scared when something happened, JHope possibly having a final goodbye before he enlists, and a date that came out today and what people believe to be Jung Kook's reaction. And then we have some news reporting on some photos. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Desai, hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on, grab your dumplings, he's spilling mug merch, and let's go. We have to start off by talking about Dior and a recent scandal that seemed to have dragged Jisoo and Jimin along with it. If you are not aware, Jisoo and Jimin are both ambassadors of Dior and they represent the brand. So they will do airport fashion in Dior, show up at the airport shows, show up at the fashion shows, or just simply agree to do a lot of the campaigns with Dior. For the most part, Dior has been a brand of elegance and simplicity. They are starting to transition to the new trend of quiet luxury where there's no logos and it's just nice looking clothes, and they definitely represent the more subtle nature of Jimin and Jisoo. They both are effortlessly attractive and don't need huge flashy clothes to be like, I am here. Simply seeing them walk by would make you turn and look at them. So naturally, when I heard Jimin and Jisoo would be with this brand, that made a lot of sense to me. Recently, Dior has gotten into a scandal where they had seemingly disrespected Asian people. And so the debate here is whether or not the thing that they did was disrespectful or not. Of course, I want to weigh in here, so what did they do? There was a post on Dior's Instagram where we see an Asian model posing with a leopard hat and a new bag. Each shot of the item, we actually don't get to see fully what the Asian girl looks like. We only see parts of their face, which is very interesting to me. In moments where we see her mouth and nose, her eyes are covered, and when we see her eyes, the rest of her face is covered. Well, these weren't really big issues, but then we have a photo of her doing the V finger right by the eye, and the finger is pulling her eye up. So if you are not aware, a lot of Asian people have been mocked for many years for their alleged slanted eyes, even though most Asians don't have eyes like that. And a lot of non-Asians will pull up their eyes to mock Asians. Now, it's hard to say if this photo and particular post was done with the intention of being racist, and if the photographer literally said pull your eye up, which makes no sense why someone would say that. So there could be this idea that she was just resting her face and her hand was just pulling her eye. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt here. What I personally find to be very irking, if you will, is that the Asian model wasn't allowed to show more of her face. We need more Asian representation, so why cover her? People were saying that this was not allegedly Dior's first offense, and they have had a history of upsetting the Chinese people. And one of those things was cultural appropriation of traditional dress. And so this was a big deal that the company received protests at the time. So I can totally understand the new photo coupled with the history can be seen as being racist. Just a quick note, because I feel like when I explain cultural appropriation, some people still don't understand. There's a fine line between cultural appreciation and appropriation. For example, I wouldn't bring a Bible and other holy items to a brothel and then get dirty with those items. Same thing goes with using, let's say, a traditional Chinese wedding dress that holds a lot of culture and turning it into a Halloween costume. If you are in an occasion in which you would normally wear said traditional clothes, this is not appropriation at all. This is appropriate to wear, and you are appreciating the culture. And those who say otherwise are just people who want to get mad. They actually don't understand what it really means. Now, after this broke out, there were some people who were saying that Jimin and Jisoo should not be a part of a company that treats Asians like this. And this is tough. You never know what a company is going to do that you disapprove of, and it's impossible to find a brand that holds the exact same values as you do. And there's always moving parts. Even if there was intention behind that post and they intended it to be racist, you can't call Dior racist because the post was not made on behalf of everyone that works at the company and on behalf of the CEO and founder. It was likely made by the production people and by the social media team. So I did find it interesting when news reported these photos and posted all of them, then Jisoo and Jimin got dragged into it. The boys always get dragged into things that they may not deserve to be dragged into, and I can imagine this often gets them scared or sad because it's no longer their own actions that can cause an issue, but actions of thousands of other people in another company that can cause issues. But the boys still have to live their life and do their own thing. The best thing we can do is get to know the people we like to watch better and understand their character. Luckily for us, BTS releases a ton of BTS content that when things come up, we automatically know if that feels like the BTS member or not. For example, BTS has their show In the Soup, where we get to see the boys go on vacation to an island in the forest and just enjoy their time. We watch them wake up early in the morning and also see them act silly. I react to the entire season 2 of the BTS show on Patreon, and we enjoy some laughs and fun times with that. I will link the Patreon in the description. We currently have a $1 tier with limited spots, so I hope to see you there. One In the Soup episode actually began with Jimin and JHope playing a little funny moment together. During this episode, Jimin and JHope decided to go to an abandoned mansion in the area and explore a little bit. They wanted to vacation, but also face their fears. Jimin actually confessed that since JHope gets scared easily, he actually didn't think JHope was going to agree to this. When they entered, Jimin pushed JHope to go first and asked JHope to go and explore. Jimin took that opportunity to run away and later popped back out and surprise and scare JHope. JHope fell weak to his knees and actually started swearing and freaking out, as you would. And I would think this would be the last time JHope would be doing anything like this. He will probably just say that he is scared next time. But if you are worried about the boys exploring abandoned places or anything like that, you have absolutely nothing to fear. Likely if they were filming someone in an abandoned place or anything like that, the crew would have done their due diligence and checked the house for anything or any murderers. This is obviously not only to ensure safety of the boys, but of the cameramen. They don't want to be liable for putting their staff and talent in literal danger. So I wouldn't be worried, but I think most people know this. What everyone seems to be a lot more worried about lately is the recent news of JHope enlisting. If you don't know what happened, a specific enlistment date happened to be put out when JHope will be going. This is more of a speculatory date and less of a full confirmation, but it's believed that JHope will enlist on April 18th. JHope had mentioned that he will enlist soon, but we just don't know when soon is or how soon. But this date seems to be in a matter of days. We have seen JHope recently cut his hair short and show ARMY what his military cut will be. He seemed pretty happy to be rocking a new look, and people think that this is going to be JHope's final goodbye. JHope mentioned that he will be live streaming soon or coming on to talk to ARMY, and I do wonder if he will do that the day before he is expected to go. That way he could say his goodbyes and leave. It's also believed that JHope will be driving to the camp right away and even check out the area. This is just speculation. However, he likely has already seen the area, so he doesn't have to do this, but JHope will have to worry about stalkers and people coming by the camp on the 18th now and camping out, because people might wait to see if he will enter or try to sneak a peek at him during the send-off ceremony. The other idea here is that the other BTS members will also try to be at the camp, so people may want to show up to try to catch a glimpse at the other boys entering the camp. And then others were concerned about how other members would take the news. If you watched the video of Jin at the send-off ceremony, people believe you'd see Jung Kook starting to tear up and cry during the last moments. People think that Jung Kook is going to do the same when JHope enlists, and this is definitely possible. I don't see why he wouldn't get emotional, but the emotion isn't really an angry emotion or anything like that. It's more of an emotion where Jung Kook is just sad that he won't get to see the person for a little bit. But even then, are the members really seeing the other members in the military less? Like, if the boys were all just doing solo stuff and doing their own thing, they'd probably still only see Jin or other members as often as they currently do. So within the last 4 months or so, they've seen Jin 2 or 3 times. I can't imagine if they were all on busy schedules, they'd see each other more than that anyway. But I suppose the other point to make here is that if they were all together, they wouldn't be doing solo stuff. HYBE did come out to the news sites with a statement about the enlistment date. They mentioned that it was difficult to confirm right now and basically implying that they don't know. I think this is very likely true. I don't know who leaked the enlistment date, but even if HYBE knew, they are not allowed to disclose it publicly. That is confidential, and JHope isn't necessarily allowed to tell HYBE, so that is what makes it difficult to confirm. But I'm curious how you are taking this news and how you'll take the news if the enlistment date is indeed the 18th. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.